Our new house is amazing.
There is a bit of an issue with our neighbor's fencing. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
The bright lights of Jordan-Hare Stadium here at Auburn. The Tennessee Vols, who started the year with such high hopes, and then the grind of the SEC has gotten to them. They're looking to pull an upset on the road against a very confident bunch. Gus Malzahn's 23rd ranked Auburn Tigers and Greg McElroy reason to be confident. 3 weeks ago, it all came together with a beatdown against LSU.
Yeah, it looked like the Auburn offense we've come to expect. Hard running and play action off that rushing attack. That's the style of offense they're going to try to replicate down the stretch, and if they can, they'll be a very difficult out for everyone they face.
Tennessee head coach Jeremy Pruitt, his 3rd season with the Vols. They have lost 4 straight. Said our kids have not lost confidence. They know how it's supposed to be. They understand the circumstances. The Vols 2-4, Auburn 4-2. 3 weeks away from game action for Auburn. A bye week, and then last week a postponement because of COVID concerns. Auburn won the toss. They elect to defer. So Anders Carlson will be kicking away. Velus Jones back to return if he gets the opportunity for Tennessee. As we are underway here at Auburn, Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Allison Williams with you. Jarrett Garantano left the game 2 weeks ago with a head injury. There was concern that if they had to play last week, Greg, he wouldn't be able to go, but he is back, and according to all reports, had a good week of practice.
Yeah, and obviously the troubling part of his season has been making mistakes with the football, throwing it into tight coverage, forcing the issue on few too many occasions. Had some time away now, some time to really focus on himself. Talking to the coaches, they feel quite confident about what their offense put forth these last couple weeks.
We're going to start on the ground, and it's a good gainer from Eric Gray. Gray, who a couple weeks ago against Arkansas went for 123 yards and a touchdown.
I like this, a little tempo early, try to get that offense started.
Garantano with time, downfield, overthrows the intended target, Josh Palmer. Roller coaster of a career at Tennessee for Garantano. 32nd start of his career. That's the 11th most in terms of career starts of any active quarterback in major college football. Third down and 3. Motions out Gray. 5-man rush. Garantano with time. Shallow cross to Jones. And Velus Jones with a chunk play as a flag is down. We'll check on that. Jones, the grad transfer from USC. 25 yards after that catch for Jones.
Offside on the defense, number 29. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
As Derek Hall who got the jump.
An excellent call there from offensive coordinator Jim Chaney. Man-to-man coverage from the Auburn Tigers. You get your most explosive wide receiver, Jones, on the shallow cross with a little bit of a mesh concept. Get him in space and hit him running. Good throw, too, from Garantano.
Garantano. Play action on first down. Quick strike, but it's incomplete. Off the hip of Keaton.
Just a little off the mark there from Garantano. Ball thrown just the tiniest bit behind Keaton. These are kind of the throws that Garantano has to be more consistent making. That's a catchable ball. You're playing against a team in Auburn that's really feeling good about their performance the last time out. You gotta hit your guy in stride because that could have been a huge play if he hits Keaton on the move.
Garantano drives the ball this time to Johnson. And Johnson with the yards after the catch will take it ahead to move the chains for Tennessee.
I really like the rhythm of this offensive series for the Tennessee Volunteers. Been out for a couple weeks. Of course, did get off to a decent start against Arkansas the last time out, only to really not play well in the second half offensively. But this has been a really promising opening drive, getting their quarterback into a rhythm, using a little tempo, and then flashing the run game a little bit as well.
First down. Garantano to the end zone, and that is incomplete as Palmer was making an effort for it. Smoke Monday had coverage.
Nearly intercepted too, and Garantano has got to do a better job of holding that free safety, because if you see Smoke Monday, he is on a beeline, I mean right to the spot. Garantano's got to keep his eyes in the middle of the field, because he's going to just take that free safety right over to the spot to potentially intercept that pass. Fortunate that he ran out a little bit of room there on the left-hand side, or else that could have been a turnover.
Ray on 2nd and 10, nowhere to go there. McLean filled the hole.
Nice job too by Newkirk there at the line of scrimmage, big number 44. And this defensive line, they've been challenged. They have not necessarily been at the level that we've seen from the Auburn defense over the course of time. And as you can see, third down for Tennessee, especially third and longs, have been a real challenge for this Tennessee offense.
Third down and 9. Chandler comes in as the running back. Garantano, pressure right up the middle, and they're able to get to him. They came through that A-gap and took him down. It was Sherwood.
Just a great job by Sherwood. He's working right here in that A-gap on the left-hand side. He meets the running back Chandler in the middle, but he wins. My goodness, just keeps moving to drop Garantano. That's an excellent pressure there from Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator's defense. That internal pressure.
And now a 50-yard attempt by Samaglia. Just off the mark, Brent Samaglia misses the 50-yard attempt wide left. So the opening drive for Jeremy Pruitt's Vols, they come away with nothing. And this Auburn team, their first game in 21 days, the bye week, and then last week's postponement with COVID concerns. A team, Greg, that really feels like they found some momentum offensively with what they showed against LSU. Quarterback Bo Nix coming off a very strong game 3 weeks ago. Had 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a career high 81 yards rushing, and a touchdown run. And they'll start on the ground with Bigsby, and Bigsby able to shake free. That had tackle for Walsh written all over it, but Tank Bigsby continuing to do what he has done in his true freshman season.
This kid's unbelievable. Just such a tenacious runner, so strong, and yet so fast at the same time. Still working on his patience, which to be expected. The guy wants to hit the hole 100 miles an hour every single time, but right there, you see his strength in the open field.
Here's Bo Nix now, pumps, and then goes downfield, back shoulder, good effort from Eli Stove as he tried to make the play there, but it's incomplete as he was forced out.
It's really close there on the sideline as you see Bo Nix and his numbers so far at home here in the friendly confines of Jordan-Hare. He plays his best football, and it's been pretty amazing to watch him develop here over these first couple years. Kind of thrown into the fire as a true freshman last year. Starting to settle in. I think a lot of people expected huge growth, but he didn't have a spring, he didn't have a normal fall camp. So having a bit of an up and down start to the season is understandable.
Second down run this time by Bigsby, but DeAndre Johnson was waiting for him.
If you look at this Auburn offense, those first 2 offensive snaps, that's who they are now. They are always, since Gus Malzahn's been here on the Plains, they want to run the football, they want to pound you, get into some tempo, and then take some shots down the field off play action. Those are their first 2 offensive snaps, and that's going to be the recipe down the stretch if Auburn's going to get to where they want to go.
They're down and 8. Nix in an empty look. Has time, slings it over the middle, and it was denied by Trevon Flowers, the safety coming up with a pass defended there. I mean, take a look at Bigsby, by the way, on the play before as he was thrown back. We saw DJ Williams come in and play running back on that third down.
You see him land kind of awkwardly on the side, and you see him kind of leaning just a little bit, taking a look at that left hip for Tank Bigsby. That's something to monitor. He's such an important piece of what they're doing offensively.
So Marshall on to punt. Tennessee defense did their job. Back rotation here as he gets it angled over to the sideline. Well done, just short of the 20-yard line. Glad you're with us for a night under the lights in the SEC between the Vols and the Tigers here on the Plains. Stay with us.
So you're a business that's thriving, but then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
Auburn's first series as Tank Bigsby, the outstanding freshman running back, was thrown back by Middleton, and then moments ago he went into the medical tent.
And they were looking at his left hip on the sidelines. He landed kind of uncomfortably there, and that's something to monitor too, because he's like a sports car, man. I mean, a high-powered machine, so if he's anything less than 100%, could have a pretty decent impact on his productivity.
Second drive by Tennessee as Chandler just gets a yard there. They went 9 plays, 43 yards, made it to the Auburn 33-yard line before Samaglia was off the mark on a 50-yard field goal.
It was a nice mix too, I thought, from offensive coordinator Jim Chaney. Mixing run and pass, getting his quarterback comfortable. Now Garantano missed a couple opportunities. But all things considered, got some guys open. Got to feel pretty good about what you did on the first drive, even though you came away with no points.
Orbit motion from Hyatt. Garantano, man in his face, and taken down that time by Newkirk. Daquan Newkirk with the sack of Garantano.
And this is a really nice job of looping around right here by the left side of that Auburn defensive line. I mean, so far, Newkirk, he made a play at the line of scrimmage against the run. Now he drops Garantano for the sack. And he's looking like he wants to be the guy at defensive tackle that replaces all that great talent of Derek Brown a year ago.
3rd and 15. Delay handoff, Gray. As he gets to the outside, he'll have a first down and more. Eric Gray on 3rd and 15 comes up with a 34-yard run, finally tracked down by Christian Tutt.
Yeah, and this is just over pursuit on the right side. They bring a blitz off the right. You see number 6, Christian Tutt, kind of over pursue, and then next thing you know, Gray's up inside. And how about the move? Just putting on a little wiggle.
Garantano, time on first down to get it to Gray. Gray, over his last 8 games, is averaging over 100 yards per game. He also has 8 touchdowns, sophomore from Memphis. Ty Chandler will come in to replace Gray. 16-yard reception there. Back-to-back plays from Eric Gray has Tennessee on the go here.
He's their best offensive weapon, so when he gets going, it's going to be important for Auburn to stop the momentum before that gets started.
Here's the bubble to Callaway. Freshman receivers that they are very high on. They have 4 of them, including this guy, Jimmy Callaway. Running on 2nd and 4, and taken down hard that time was Chandler. And that was Truesdell, the senior defensive tackle, who came over to make the tackle.
Big 3rd down here for this Auburn defense. That's twice now that they've given up pretty decent drives to this Tennessee offense. The first one stalled because of a missed opportunity in the kicking game. But here, to get off the field to force yet another long field goal opportunity is huge for this Auburn defense.
3rd down and 4.
Watch for the shallow right here.
3rd and 4, 4-man rush. They back off. He goes to the outside and gets it complete for a 1st down to Hyatt. Hyatt, who was the big-time 4-star recruit, who has been delivering very early in his career.
A really nice route right there, too. Stressing the depth, taking advantage of the leverage. Hyatt creating a lot of separation on that out route from the slot position.
15 yards to Hyatt. Gray fights his way to the 9-yard line. So a 6-yard run for Eric Gray. And that's a good sign for Auburn as Tank Bigsby is out of the medical tent. Ninth play of the drive coming up here for the Vols. Second and 4. Garantano into the end zone. Good looking drive for Tennessee and a 9-yard touchdown run by Jared Garantano. Converted a 3rd and 15 in the midst of that drive. As Eric Gray had the big play, Garantano managed things well and then did it himself on the ground.
And check out my man Trey Smith. He introduces himself to Zacoby McClain. Boom, get out of the club. Pancake. As Garantano on the Q counter finds his way into the end zone. Just an excellent job of finishing that drive from Tennessee's offense. You pick it up after 3rd and long. You get down there, you convert again on 3rd and medium to the out route to Jalen Hyatt, and then their quarterback, a guy that has experienced so many ups and downs over the course of his career, pays it off in large part due to an excellent block by one of the best in the business, Trey Smith.
Such a talented offensive line, but to many they've been underperforming. Getting the job there on that drive, and then finishing with Trey Smith, who's a top NFL prospect, Q counter, and just paving the way. He was 2 for 2 on 3rd down. How about what Gray was able to do to move the chains there on that drive?
Just really an impressive drive. Really each of the first 2. I mean, you take a couple steps backward on the first drive, but you get your quarterback started, you get Gray started, work a couple of the young freshman receivers into the ball game, you get Bayless Jones on a shallow. So far, it's been a really beautiful plan from Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee.
Remember, Tank Bigsby left injured on their first drive, so Sean Shivers now the running back. As Nix goes to Stove, and Stove able to keep the legs driving even with his back turned as he makes it out to the 39-yard line. 14 yards there for Eli Stove.
It's good to see Eli Stove back for this Auburn team. He means so much to him, and right there, a nice job not giving up on the play.
Sean Shivers takes it ahead for Auburn. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Allison Williams here down on the loveliest village on the plains. We're moving over to ESPN right now. Viewers on ESPNU can continue to watch this game with the Skycast version of this game. Every play covered by the Skycam. 2nd and 5. Nix going deep and overthrows the intended target. A flag is down as he was looking for Seth Williams. And with this switch over to ESPN, the traditional telecast is here from Jordan-Hare, or you stay on ESPNU for the Skycast version of the game. Tennessee on their last drive capped it with Garantano, a 9-yard touchdown run. On the opening drive, they came down the field against Auburn's defense as well, but they were unable to connect on a 50-yard field goal attempt.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. Pass is incomplete. 2nd down.
Looking at offensive pass interference there on Seth Williams as he had one-on-one down the field, and Bo Nix just a little bit off the mark on the deep ball, which has been a little bit of a trend so far throughout the 2020 season. Took some steps in the right direction against LSU with the deep ball, but he's got to continue to hone in on that part of his development, because that's the one piece that's really missing from this Auburn offense, is that consistent downfield passing attack off play action.
3rd down and 5 for Bo Nix and Auburn. Schwartz comes in motion to the near side. 3-man rush against Nix. They drop 8, and he'll have the 1st down as he gets it to Williams. And you see the power and athleticism of big Seth Williams carrying defenders with him to the 39. Let's check in with Allison.
Well, Tess, a concerning moment early on the opening drive for Auburn fans is their sensational running back, Tank Bigsby, was slammed to the ground, landing really hard on that left hip. He was grimacing in pain when he came to the sideline. He spent a lot of time in the injury tent. I'm told that he is okay and clear to return, but we have yet to see him back on the field.
You saw Shivers with the good run there, but here's what happened on the 2nd down play on their opening drive, and watch how he's thrown back by Middleton, and then he headed to the 10. Tank Bigsby, who's number 2 in the SEC in all-purpose yardage. Nix, 1st down run for Nix as he shows speed getting around the corner.
And they will definitely miss Tank Bigsby if he's not at 100%, but they do have some capable weapons that can run the football, but Nix is one of them. I mean, he has great athleticism on the perimeter and can really make you pay with his legs if you lose contain like we saw just there.
He had a team-high 81 yards rushing in that win against LSU 3 weeks ago. This is their first game in 21 days. Had the bye week and had the COVID postponement. And finger pointing Auburn's way.
Number 58 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
You know, it's interesting. We talked to Gus Malzahn. You see him there about the momentum that they felt they had. And then you find out you're not going to play, and then there's talk that you're going to switch opponents, and then you're not going to play again. 21 days off. You have to be so adaptable as a player and coach here in 2020.
It's brutal. I mean, we told him, he's like, hey man, it's nice to have that long of a layoff coming off a win, but it'd been really nice to be able to tie a couple performances together after the dominant performance we saw against LSU.
1st and 15, Shivers nowhere to go there. Jeremy Banks with the tackle. Jeremy Pruitt, head coach at Tennessee, 3rd season there. He said, listen, we know we've got good young talent, and they want to get back to basics with their time off. We've already seen some of that good young talent show up tonight. Touchdown lead early on here for the Vols. 2nd and 15, DJ Williams in the backfield. Nix under pressure and just had to get rid of it. as Nix had DeAndre Johnson charging in on him. Pleasant chat, I'm sure, back to the line of scrimmage.
Always is, Joe, of course. An important down here, obviously, from Auburn. You have a capable kicker, but if you're Bo Nix, you got to be thinking, hey, I can't hold the ball too long. I'm going to stay patient in the pocket, which has been a point of emphasis, and you can't take a sack. Make sure that clock goes off in your head, and be smart with the pass rush that's going to be coming after you.
Schwartz moves to the slot. Williams in the backfield on 3rd and 15. Nix trying to extend the play to the end zone. He goes where it is intercepted by Thompson. Bryce Thompson picks off Bo Nix in the end zone. So here's this Tennessee team. They've lost 4 straight. The offense already has 7 on the board, and the defense just did that.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving. But then, okay, plan, pivot. How do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward with serious and reliable internet, powered by the largest gig speed network in America. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure. And even if the power goes down, your connection doesn't.
So how do I do this?
You don't do this. We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
College football is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Order today for contactless delivery, carryout, or curbside pickup.
Wild day in college football. How about Northwestern? Took care of business with their defense against Wisconsin. And you saw it moments ago, Cincinnati trying to be a group of 5 team that could make the college football playoff. Joe, Greg, and Allison with you here at Auburn. Bo Nix, the interception thrown to the end zone moments ago. Jared Garantano had the 9-yard touchdown run. And now Chandler catches a seam out to the 26. You know, it's interesting, we talk about the time off, 21 days off for Auburn, a couple weeks off for Tennessee. You never know how teams are going to react. But when we visited with Jeremy Pruitt last night, he said to us, I'm telling you, our team has not lost confidence.
Yeah. He said, we got a bunch of young guys that don't really know the difference. We're just doing the best we can. And I think it's really been exciting to watch them here in the first 15 minutes of game action here. I mean, they've been playing really well along the offensive line. Garantano's been sound so far, and you've seen the explosiveness of their running backs.
Start. 93 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And that 2019 turnaround for Coach Pruitt, and won their final 6 games. Had the win over Indiana. Boy, Indiana really showed something in that second half fighting against Ohio State today, didn't they?
Oh, they did, man.
2nd and 8. They come with the orbit motion and the swing to Hyatt, and Hyatt able to get enough out of it that time, splitting defenders. Allison.
You guys mentioned how Tennessee had the 2 weeks off. They really tried to treat it almost like a fall camp because their fall camp was really disrupted by COVID-19 amongst the team. So they really just got back to fundamentals, basics, working on technique. And Eric Gray, their running back, told me that the team was responding really well. He said, we got back to fundamentals and we got back just to having fun again. The disposition around this team has remained really positive.
You know, Allison, it's a good point. You look around that roster, especially the offensive depth chart, and you see true freshmen scattered throughout that depth chart, and that's critical. So these guys can develop, get back to basics. 3rd down and 3. Garantano. And here comes Gray out of the backfield. A flag is down, but they've been utilizing Gray early on here in this game.
Offside, number 29 on the offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
David Smith heads up this SEC crew. 25 yards for Eric Gray.
So far right now, I mean, Auburn looks like a team that hasn't played in a long time. I mean, they're busting simple coverage. They're not rushing with the same level of rush integrity that you normally see from a Kevin Steele defense. They look like a team that's rusty at this point. At some point, they're going to need to jumpstart their engine, though, because Tennessee is moving the ball with great efficiency offensively.
Quick to the outside. Keaton able to turn the corner and get something extra. Chick-fil-A brings us the impact players, Greg.
If you look at it, there are some capable weapons offensively for Tennessee. Eric Gray's their star. Josh Palmer's their reliable weapon on the outside. And then if you look at Auburn, Big Cat Bryant finally back healthy after the ankle injury. Really slowed him down throughout the course of the first half of the season. And then Zacoby McClain, very talented and athletic linebacker at the second level. It's going to need to fly all over the place and try to match pace with Eric Gray coming out of that running back spot.
Gray already has 47 yards rushing, 41 receiving. Ty Chandler comes in right now. He's the man in motion who flanks Garantano.
Tennessee, they're first.
Tennessee will use their first timeout. Touchdown lead here. Don't go anywhere.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
Ball prime time on ESPN, presented by PlayStation 5 as you're watching the SEC on ESPN. One of the most iconic sites in all of college football, Toomer's Corner. Not far away from Jordan-Hare Stadium. Place that opened back in 1939 was 7,500 seated. And today we have a COVID-restricted 17,000, mostly student tickets on those 17,000. After the timeout, Tennessee, first down. Garantano gets it to Jones, and Jones is taken down right away. That was McCreary playing it really well. They'd love to get Velus Jones into space if they can.
Yeah, Velus Jones is a great weapon, but excellent job there by Auburn's defense, staying at home and making the play in the backfield.
Garantano, the touchdown run, has Tennessee up 7-zip on the road here against number 23. Second quarter, we return.
Touchdown drive for Tennessee. Here's 3rd and 15. Just hand off a little running back draw, and Gray takes it for 33. A great conversion. And then on 3rd and 4, Garantano finds Jalen Hyatt, the freshman, on the out route, and then he finishes with a Q counter. Give a little assist to the outstanding left guard, Trey Smith, who kicked a man out of the club en route to the end zone.
Chandler out of the backfield as he's able to get past Smoke Monday. All 3 Tennessee drives have now gone into Auburn territory.
It's been a nice mix, too, of run-pass. When you're playing against a team that's as well coached as Auburn, you got to be able to beat you both through the air and on the ground. Garantano's been sound. He's already got 124 passing yards, but they're starting to mix in the rushing yards as well. As you look at the offensive coordinator, Jim Chaney, universally respected. Has had a long tenure here in the SEC.
35 years of coaching. 3rd down and 3. Shallow cross, and upended that time was Princeton Vant. So it'll be 4th down.
That just drives you crazy if you're an offensive coordinator. You have a good play call. You're able to get Fant in space, and he's not deep enough. He's 2 yards shy of the sticks. You get a completion. He's got to be able to fall forward with that big 240-pound body and pick up the first down. But a good job by Auburn knowing where the sticks are and rallying up to make the tackle.
The 47-yard attempt for Somaglia. Puts it through. Number 2 in Tennessee history in field goal percentage, making 76%, and he makes it a 10-0 Vols lead.
You can go your own way, go your own way.
Rattler, we've got a 9-yard touchdown run from Garantano here. And moments ago, the Somaglia field goal, 10-0 Tennessee. The upset-minded team, they've done it before down here. Came down here in 2018 and won by 6 at Auburn. And that was a lot of the chatter all week long from those around Tiger Town. Short kick fielded at the 20-yard line. Well, the big story for Auburn is on their first drive. Their outstanding freshman running back was injured, left the game. Tank Bigsby now warming up on the sideline. Here's how it happened.
You see him get slammed down, landing pretty hard on that left hip. Go into the anatomy test of the piriformis muscle. You know,
is that what that is?
Maybe. I'm just going to guess. I can't spell it, but I think that's it. And hope he's okay. And you think about it, too, I mean, he's like a sports car, like I said, man. He's like a NASCAR, man. He's full speed, and when he's not at 100%, it's a significant drop-off, so something to monitor there.
And Shivers getting the work now. He's the 5'7" running back who loves to get that low pad leverage and get a few extra yards. Allison, what more can you tell us?
Well, Bigsby has been spending a lot of time in the athletic trainer's tent, and when he's not been in there, he's been on the bike. He is cleared to come back in. It's going to be a whether or not he's comfortable kind of pushing through the pain. He has his helmet on right now, which is certainly a good sign.
First Auburn freshman to run for 100 yards in 3 straight games.
He's an amazing player, just an incredible talent. So fun to watch, runs so hard. If you talk to his coaches, man, they think down the road he's a future legitimate Heisman contender with the way they're going to feed him here on the Plains.
2nd and 3. Shivers with that wiggle to the outside and a first down. Target Command Center broadcast of this game is available right now on ESPN3 and on the ESPN app. We encourage you to enjoy that.
This is an important drive, I think, for Bo Nix and really this Auburn offense. So far, they've been outgained pretty significantly by Tennessee. Their defense needs a little bit of a blow, so here, you got to put something together offensively.
Here's Shivers, big hole on the right side, and a first down for Shivers. Thompson finally wrestled him down.
And just a really nice job by the right side of this offensive line. You're just going to see double teams right there, working up to the second level. An excellent job there by the right guard, Keandre Jones. Tennessee's defender tried to slip to the inside. Keandre Jones just walled him in. And there went Shivers right outside his outside hip.
It's a redshirt sophomore, backup defensive end, Greg Emerson, down for Tennessee.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving. But then, okay, plan, pivot. How do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward with serious and reliable internet, powered by the largest gig speed network in America. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure. And even if the power goes down, your connection doesn't.
So how do I do this?
You don't do this. We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, presented by Allstate.
Lock in Tuesday night, the CFP rankings release. College Football Playoff Top 25 show is presented by Allstate. Boy, that's a whole lot of handsome on the left there, isn't it? Mr. McElroy's picks. Take us through it,
a couple years ago. First 4 are pretty easy. I mean, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, 3 undefeateds. Clemson, of course, having lost at the hands of Notre Dame. But those first 2 out, that's where it gets interesting. I think Texas A&M will be ahead of Florida. They won that game head-to-head. People say, what about Cincinnati? What about BYU? They don't have the quality win to justify being ahead of any of those 6 teams that I just listed. Really good teams, great with the eye test, but the resume is just not there.
Here's Bo Nix on first down. Downfield, wide open, Schwartz. Put it on the board. Flash, Schwartz. Flash for a reason. One of the fastest players in all of college football. The light show is underway. 54 yards, Nix to Schwartz.
Man, put that in a box and give me Baker's dozen. That's 2 games in a row now that Bo Nix has set his feet and threw a beautiful deep ball to Schwartz. Just a thing of beauty. And an excellent play there from the Auburn Tiger offense.
He had a 91-yard touchdown against LSU. That was the longest play in the SEC
on the
this
kicking
year.
team. 5 yards. Replay the try.
You know, we always talk about track speed. Well, this is the kind of guy who now has great hands. He's developed fully as a wide receiver. He's a football player who runs track, not just a world-class track athlete. And when we say world-class, folks, he ran for Team USA. He was in the under-20 World Championships over in Europe. Took gold in the 4x100. Took silver in the 100 meters. And he just sped past that Tennessee defense. 54 yards in a flash.
How about the throw from Bo Nix to the speedster? Might want to cover him if you can. Auburn responds.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
2 Tennessee defenders keying on different guys, and my goodness, look who splits the middle. It's Schwartz, and the reaction, as you can see right there, hands are up. That's Trayvon Flowers saying, who's got him? Who's covering him? So clearly a busted coverage there defensively from Tennessee, and an excellent job by Auburn's offense taking advantage of Tennessee's mistake, and a beautiful throw and catch by Bo Nix and Anthony Schwartz.
You know, I think we sent the crew crazy earlier this week. We were going back and looking at Flash Schwartz track video to just show you how fast he is. And folks, I want to share that with you because he set the world record in the U18s, a wind legal 10-1-5 in 100 meters. But we're going to put it in perspective. You go back to one of the greatest straight line runners of all time, Bo Jackson, 71-yarder against Alabama back in '83, straight line speed. He's right up there, isn't he, with some of the fastest Auburn
Bo
players.
can go. I'm taking Schwartz.
Oh, come on
I'm
now.
taking Schwartz.
Bo can go.
Bo can go, no doubt. I'm taking Schwartz. I don't know if anyone can run with him. He can flat out get it.
Back to business here as they go at the end around. Holiday, and Holiday makes it out to the 31-yard line. Let's go to Matt Barry in the studio. All that young talent of Oklahoma, we had them earlier this year against TCU. You could see it coming, couldn't you? 2nd and 4. Garantano. Pressure in his face, and that should have been intercepted. Pritchett made a break on it, but couldn't hold on. He had a big interception against LSU that set up their first touchdown 3 weeks ago. Great pressure by Derek Hall to set it up.
Yeah, and a really nice job of undercutting it. Look at the angle he takes as soon as the ball's thrown. Boom, right to the spot. Ball clearly not with a ton of velocity on it because of the pressure brought by Auburn's front. So here, critical 3rd down to grab that momentum back from Auburn as Jordan Hare is about to erupt.
3rd down and 4. They got to him again, and he threw it short to the inside as he was looking at Josh Palmer. Big Cat Bryant was closing in on Garantano. That was a good-looking defensive series for Auburn. Isn't it funny how sometimes the big play on offense can create energy and emotion on defense?
You're going to see the offensive line blocking these guys, which means Bryant's right off the outside. I mean, he's unaccounted for because of the slide in the protection. Garantano's hot. Got to get rid of that ball quickly, and he just can't do it quickly enough before Bryant forces him to be inaccurate.
Paxton Brooks on to punt away. They come after it. Eli Stove is the return man, and he calls for the fair catch. Very good directional work from Paxton Brooks there. Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN. And of course, you can watch it on the app. It is the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will have everything you need to know. That is coming your way Tuesday at 7. And after a couple visits to the medical tent, true freshman running back Tank Bigsby is back in action for Auburn.
Watch that left hip. That's what they were working on when he was on the sidelines, to see if it affects his movement, especially going from left to right.
We'll get work testing the left side, and welcome back to the game just like that, Tank Bigsby. 10-yard run in his first play back.
Looks like he's turning pretty good there. Sometimes when you explode and that left leg's what's hurt. See, the ball came out there at the end. He was fortunate enough to kind of grab it, and he just shook his head as he went to the sideline.
So Shivers comes back into the game, and he will get the carry on first down. And Shivers has this way about him. He's 5'7", under 180 pounds. He gets so low that as soon as he makes contact, there's still 3-4 yards left in it.
Right, and obviously, age-old right, low man wins. I mean, he always seems to surge. You just can't really meet him where he's at. He's going to be beneath you, and more often than not with momentum.
2nd and 2, quick strike. He threw it behind Jackson. Nix off target that time as Jackson had a twist and turn, but Bigsby right back to take a seat. Had the 10-yard run and then exits the game.
And they can still definitely win, obviously, with Williams and Shivers. They have plenty of talent in the backfield. Of course, no one going to be able to replace Tank Bigsby 1-for-1, but by committee, they might be able to do it if that offensive line plays really well.
3rd and 2, Williams, and that will move the chains as he gets it out to the 46-yard line. DJ Williams, who he himself had to deal with a lot of little injuries, got banged up against Ole Miss, Auburn's top returning rusher from last season.
Be careful here if you're Tennessee. Auburn, this formation, this could be a shot play. Fresh set of downs, nearing the 50. Might try to take a chance, throw it down the field.
Nix looking for Schwartz, and he gets him. And Schwartz, all it takes is a couple kicks to the feet, and he's going to have a first down. Alabama is out in front, as was expected. They walloped Kentucky today, 63-3. Mac Jones had a couple more touchdown passes. DJ Williams now, and he has it to the 25-yard line. Florida took care of business against Vandy. It was a little bit of a rocky first half before Trask and company found their gear. Williams again, this a gain of 3.
And this has really been, since the interception from Bo Nix, I mean, this Auburn offense has been playing with a different sense of urgency. You can just feel the momentum right now, not just with the great throw that Nix made down the field to Schwartz, but now that running game starting to get going. This is the balance that Gus Malzahn and Chad Moritz, the offensive coordinator, this is what they're going after every single time they take the field.
That's big J.J. Pegues, all 300 pounds of him that they look to run behind here with Shivers. How about Pegues, number 89, the big tight end, the true freshman, 6'2", 300-pounder. Played quarterback, played running back. He's taken snaps at Wildcat this year. Really good basketball player growing up in Oxford, Mississippi. Big man with great feet.
It's not often that you describe a 300-plus pounder as nimble. You know, that's exactly what he is. I mean, the guy, he's got spin move. He's got some moves in his arsenal that you just don't see at 300 pounds.
3rd down and 5. Here's Nix, quick out, and quickly completed, and it'll be a first down to Seth Williams. And Seth Williams, one of those guys who his catches really get big results, right? Came into today with 113 career receptions, 87 of them go for either a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah, and if not for Tank Bigsby, he's probably their most important offensive player, not named Bo Nix. I mean, when he is on, this offense operates at a different level. He's so difficult to defend. And now with Tennessee, Alontae Taylor is available. He's their #1 corner. But they don't really have an elite guy that can lock him down. So they're going to have to play zone against him. And that's going to be a tough matchup if they catch him in one-on-one.
Nix looking for something here, but he's going to be tackled for a loss. DeAndre Johnson was tracking him.
Seth Williams is one of those guys, though, that you want to get him involved in the plan early. You think back to the game against South Carolina. He was so frustrated throughout the course of that game. J.C. Horn really had his number and was more physical than he was on that given day, but he's responded beautifully these last couple games and is once again playing as a dominant player in this league, which is what we've come to expect.
Here's Williams on 2nd and 11, and only a couple yards past the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down from there. Bo Nix 5 of 11. Had the interception thrown into the end zone. That was his first interception he has ever thrown here at home at Jordan-Hare. Also had the big touchdown pass moments ago to Schwartz. Now a 3rd down and 9. Four-man rush against Nix. It's going to go underneath, and Williams is wrapped up. Good job defensively by Alontae Taylor. You mentioned the fact that he was dealing with a hamstring injury, but working his way back this week.
It was a big collision. Alontae Taylor, one of the most physical corners in the SEC. He wants you to feel it every time he hits you, and he'll flex on you too. But that time, he's not at 100%, so they don't want him out there with his normal capacity, not on islands. But that time, he certainly did a great job there, rallying up to make the play.
Anders Carlson, 25-yard field goal attempt. He's top 10 in Auburn's career scoring list. And with that, he will tie the game. Well, they have 21 days off. They wake up now, 10-10 here on the Plains.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving. But then, okay, plan, pivot. How do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward with serious and reliable internet, powered by the largest gig speed network in America. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure. And even if the power goes down, your connection doesn't.
So how do I do this?
You don't do this. We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. The Fortes and the app, and the coverage always begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern. There's a guy who's got some great Monday night memories, right? Bo Jackson. Of course, he's got great memories here at this grand stadium. Jordan-Hare, Joe Tessitore, Brett McElroy, Allison Williams with you. 10-10 game between Tennessee and number 23, Auburn. Here's Velus Jones on the return. Jones catches a seam and has a good return there. The grad transfer from USC. Let's go to the studio. Probably a lot of Dogs fans saying, finally.
No doubt, they are
JT,
happy.
Finally.
Backup quarterback's always the most popular player on campus.
That's Callaway, freshman who's been getting time. Check in with Allison.
Tess, this Tennessee offensive line has been the subject of scrutiny this year, and one of their leaders up front, Trey Smith, not real happy with how they're playing up front, demanding more of that unit. Said, you guys need to check your emotions. You need to keep your composure out there because we need to keep chipping away, get out there and put up some points.
He's not allowed a sack this year. Didn't allow a sack last year. 37 starts deep into his Tennessee career. 2nd and 16. Chandler out of the backfield. And Chandler gets it out to the 36-yard line. The 3rd down and about a long 5 from there.
I think that's why so many people were so bullish on Tennessee's offense this year. It's because of the veteran presence that they have up front. And if I'm going to be real honest, given the preseason expectations of that group and the actual performance that we've had, it's been one of the more disappointing groups in college football this year, but still plenty of football left. They feel like they're on their way up as far as the cohesiveness and their ability to play together.
See Big Cat going to test him here on 3rd and 6. Here he comes on Garantano. Quickly to the outside, and it's a 1st down for Tennessee into the hands of Josh Palmer.
Good job there. Hey, Auburn's got all the momentum. Everything's going well for them at this point. Where's my most reliable weapon? Where's my most veteran wide receiver? Where's the guy I've thrown the most passes to in my career? I'm going to look over in direction number 5.
Ray takes it ahead for a few yards. McLean with the tackle.
This Auburn defense, really these last couple drives too, starting to resemble the group that we saw against LSU. So they were a little rusty early. Didn't really do a great job tackling in space. Didn't do a great job of leveraging the football. The coverage wasn't ideal. Starting to round into shape here as they've knocked the rust off here as we near the end of the 1st half.
And beat LSU by 37 back on Halloween. Gray goes nowhere that time. He's thrown back by Dre Butler and Big Cat Bryant.
This has really been the down. Tennessee's 5 of 8 on 3rd down so far tonight. As you see Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator. Tennessee not a great 3rd down offense either. So Kevin Steele, an important down here to try to get his guys off the field. He's tried to go with some man and it hasn't worked. So let's see if he zones him up right here and tries to get home with this front 4 along the defensive line.
Worst team in the SEC coming out on 3rd down percentage. They're at 27%. 3rd down and 8. Garantano with time as he goes underneath looking for Johnson, but it's incomplete. The offensive woes for Tennessee. Bottom 2 in the conference in yards per game, in yards per play, and then worst in 3rd down percentage. And they will be punting away here after that 3rd down.
I think that's the recipe for Auburn moving forward as they make their adjustments in the 2nd half. They really relied a lot on pressure on 3rd down throughout the first 30 minutes. I would expect a little more zone from them, a little more conservative defensively in the 2nd half from Auburn's defense.
It's a shift, and there was some movement up front as Auburn came after Paxton Brooks. This is a short punt and bounces out of bounds. And look at this mark as he runs all the way up to the 27-yard line. Let's go to the studio. Oh, many, many years of wonderful Thanksgivings with Jesse at the house. This year's going to be a little different. We will miss you. 1st down passed as John Samuel Shanker.
Between you and Palmer, honestly, I can't even imagine the amount of calories that are consumed.
You have no idea.
I legit cannot even imagine the calories that are consumed.
And not much has to do with turkey. Let's put it that way.
Just no regard for physical health between you two guys.
2nd and 4. Shivers as he works his way to the 35-yard line. Butler with the tackle.
Here, if you're Tennessee, I mean, you're thinking, if I'm on the offense on the sideline, I'm thinking, all right, let's go over some of our 2-minute principles here. It's a big down potentially. Get a ball back, fire a timeout, and you might have a chance to steal some points of your own. But if Auburn gets a first down here, expect tempo. Expect them to try to put together a 2-minute operation.
Minute and a half here in this first half. Williams trying to surge ahead for that line to gain on 3rd and 2. You see Jeremy Banks, middle linebacker, saying, I think they're short. And it looks like they're going to be about a foot short.
Jeremy Pruitt got that timeout, ran right to the line judge. As you see Derek Ansley, the defensive coordinator.
Gus Malzahn, his 100th game coaching Auburn. 8th year as the head coach. Timeout used by Tennessee. 1:18 to go in this first half, as it will be 4th down. Of course, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Homecoming weekend here on the loveliest village on the plains. Just over 17,000 allowed into Jordan-Hare. 54th meeting between these two. Auburn has won 6 of the last 7 against Tennessee, but it was Tennessee who got the best of them back in 2018. And that was Garantano who did it then. He was a redshirt sophomore at the time, passed for over 300 yards, had a couple of touchdowns, and got the upset of then number 21 Auburn.
Trying to see it. I mean, Gus Malzahn.
Offense is on the field.
Might be trying to go with a hard count here. See if he can't maybe get Tennessee to jump off sides. Or
now what's interesting is that the backup punter, Oscar Chapman, is on the field. He's lined up as the receiver at the bottom of your screen, so watch the shift, and there it is. So they shift out of it as Nix and Chapman trade places. And then he'll take the quick snap, not the full 14 yards back, the one-step punt, and it works out well. So they look to see if they could draw them off, but instead the Aussie punter, Chapman, does punt away. 1:18 will remain, 1 timeout for Tennessee.
I mean, that was impressive recognition by you. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my good quarter, what do you do? A hard count off sides? You do quarterback power?
You're always dismissing special teams.
Oh,
what do I tell you all the time?
Third phase.
What do I tell you all the time?
Third phase.
How much would you value if every offensive play had a swing of 40 yards in a game? Well, welcome to special teams, my friend. Welcome to where I live.
Anytime the fans are disappointed to see you go on the field, meaning the punter, that's usually...
Hey, hold on a second now. We got a scholarship player in our house.
And that's why I got to give you a hard time.
So here is Gray, and Gray not much there, and then backs his way for 2.5 yards. As it was Derek Hall with the tackle. Derek Hall had a great game against LSU. He was the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Had a couple sacks, had a forced fumble.
And if I'm Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, I don't really trust Jarrett Garantano to really run a 2-minute operation. So many ups and downs. It's been questionable with his decision-making from time to time over the course of his career. I'd be real anxious about getting too aggressive and trying to do too much with the ball in his hands.
Play clock running down. 2nd and 7. Gray goes off left tackle for a couple yards.
If I'm Auburn, I'm taking a timeout.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Don't take 3 to the locker room.
And Auburn's had 2 opportunities now. If they can force the stop here on 3rd and medium, they've had 2 chances, Joe. As I just gave you a hard time about devaluing special teams. Here we go. We're going to talk about the importance of it. We know that Auburn's gotten pretty close to blocking 2 now. It's been pretty close. So it could be a situation where you come after the punt. You can get a stop here on 3rd and medium.
Hey, tomorrow's Sunday NFL Countdown, one-on-one with Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. Steelers look to remain undefeated. Of course, Randy Moss will have the best catches from today's day of college football actions. You got Moss. You can always kick off your Week 11 with Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN. Gus Malzahn, he had that post-game celebration after the win against LSU 3 weeks ago. He said, everybody knows it now. We fought through the adversity. We're going like this, straight up. They feel like they're gathering a lot of momentum as the season goes along. And right now, Gray is going to spin and get a Tennessee first down.
Good recognition there by Tennessee's offense. Auburn's defense wasn't set. They were kind of standing around. Quick snap. You get the conversion.
Garantano going to check down underneath to Gray. And now a final timeout will be used by 11 seconds remaining by Tennessee. As Vol's team has lost 5 straight against ranked teams. And Greg, you know, we talked about it, especially considering this season, everything has been asked of these young men, these coaches, and all the restrictions and all the postponements and time off. You get to this stage of the season, you've been beaten down, you lose 4 straight. How do you react? It says a lot about your character.
It does. And we think all we have to do is go back 12 months for Tennessee. I mean, a team that starts out the season 0-2, loses to a group of 5 team in the first game of the season, loses in heartbreaking fashion to a BYU team in the second game of the season, finished though with remarkable momentum that carried over into this season. So there's still so much to play for. Maybe not as it pertains to championships this year or anything that you might want to accomplish as far as New Year's 6 bowl games, all that stuff. That's done, that's over with. But what you can do is you can create momentum heading into next year if they can somehow turn it around in these last 4 games.
Remember, they began the season ranked number 16, won their first 2 games, had that showdown at Georgia, and then 4 straight losses after that. That's quickly to Warren. That leaves 9 ticks of the clock.
You're going to get a shot at the end zone here. Maybe one more quick little 5-yard out route to give yourself just a little bit closer.
Well, perhaps they could put Samaglia into a position for a long field goal attempt. He has a career-long 53-yarder.
And given the depth of Auburn at the first level, yeah, he's telling him to scoot up.
Garantano steps up, utilizing that time now and then spinning down. Big Cat Bryant chased him down, 000s across the clock. Got ourselves a 10-10 game here. Garantano started off with the touchdown and then the big pass, Schwartz 54-yarder, and we're tied up here. Time on ESPN, presented by PlayStation 5. And we're thrilled you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Joe, Greg, and Allison with you, where we are all tied up between Tennessee and number 23, Auburn. Garantano had the 9-yard touchdown run, nicks the 54-yard pass to Schwartz. As our first half stats are brought to you by PlayStation 5. That sums it up, huh? Flip-flop of first quarter to second quarter.
Yeah, really a tale of 2 quarters like you alluded to, Joe. And Auburn kind of sluggish. It's been a long time since they've played, we know that, and they did not get off to a great start. But you got to give credit, too, to Tennessee. I mean, taking advantage of a couple of 3rd and longs. This one here, 3rd and 15. 33-yard run by Gray led to that Garantano touchdown. But Auburn responded beautifully. After the field goal by Samaglia became all Tigers. Bo Nix finding Schwartz on the blown coverage, a beautiful deep ball for an excellent touchdown response. And then a little later in the second quarter, the Carlson field goal, knotting it up at 10. Auburn kind of went into halftime with all the momentum, and now they get the ball here to start the 3rd quarter. Can that momentum carry over?
Kick goes into the end zone. You know, Gus Malzahn, he felt the team had so much momentum coming off the game against LSU. They are 22-2 as a ranked team at home against an unranked team under Gus Malzahn. Tied up at 10 apiece here. Game number 100 as the Auburn head coach.
Remember Tank Bigsby, their talented freshman running back, really a non-factor. He got hurt on his second carry of the ball game, landing kind of awkwardly on his left hip. So we'll see whether or not he gets back in the game or if it's going to be Shivers and Williams down the stretch.
Well, here is Shivers again. He loses a yard. Allison, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, he is out for the rest of the game. Tank Bigsby has a lower body injury. He is on the sideline walking around in street clothes, so they will be without one of their most dynamic playmakers on offense for the remainder of this game. Gus Malzahn was checking with him at the half. Wasn't sure at the time, but obviously he can't go. And Gus also told me about that first half. He said you could tell we had a long layoff. We just looked a little stale to start the game before we really settled in.
So that's a big loss for Auburn. 2nd and 11. Nix slings it back to the center of the field. Eli Stove changes direction and gets it out towards the 45-yard line as he goes for 21 yards on that catch.
They can replace Bigsby, of course, maybe not with equal caliber personnel, but it's going to require guys like Bo Nix right there leaving the pocket, which has been a huge point of emphasis. Not leaving the pocket too soon, but that time leaving the pocket actually drew a defender and allowed Stove to come uncovered.
Here's the big man, the 300-pound J.J. Pegues. Run him in motion, give him the ball, and say, why don't you go bulldoze somebody? 7 yards there from Pegues.
He's just so big, man. I mean, and he moves so effortlessly, so smooth. And you know when you get into this position, especially working against defensive backs, I mean, they're not going to be able to bring him down when trying to go high. So if you go after Pegues, you got to go low. You got to hit him right in the thighs because there's no way you're going to be able to bring down that strong of a guy if you try to take him up high.
2nd and 3. Nix sprint right, looks back to the left, and throws it into the dirt in front of John Samuel Shanker.
Missed opportunity there from Bo Nix, just unable to get his feet set because of a presence by a Tennessee Vol defender in his face.
That was Middleton there.
Yeah, throw it down into the turf. Man, if he could get his feet set and drive it down the field, they had a chance for a big play.
3rd down and 3. Nix, as he looks to Seth Williams for the first down. 9th all-time on Auburn's career receiving yards list is Seth Williams.
Just a great job here in the second window slant. Bo Nix recognizing the coverage before the snap. The defensive back was way off and inside, which means he's going to drop back, play the half. You're going to get a defensive end that drops right into the passing lane. Young quarterback's going to throw it to that defensive end. Bo was poised, sat on his back foot through the second window for the conversion.
Nix, pressure coming. He escapes it for a moment before he's then dragged down. And that was Bennett who tracked him down.
This Tennessee defense, for the most part, in the first half, they had some decent moments. Now, statistically, Auburn ended up having around 250 yards of offense. It was never what you want, but they were able to get off the field a few times. They were able to get home. That was the 2nd sack of Bo Nix. So there's been a couple bright spots, especially knowing they're playing without Alontae Taylor, who's played a little, but not necessarily in the same capacity we've come to expect from the excellent corner.
2nd and 12. Nix in stride. He gets it to Hudson for a first down. Just the 3rd catch of the year for Kobe Hudson. Flag is down. They're going to trot this back. Flag was thrown at the 35-yard line.
Might get a lineman downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 52 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 2nd down.
He was way downfield too. That was Nick Brahms, the center. He could have probably tackled Kobe Hudson there. That's how far downfield he was. I think he must have not known what the play was, or they had a miscommunication, because he released as if it was a screen or even a run play.
That puts him in a 2nd and 17. Nix sidearms it to Shivers, and Shivers is brought down right near the 40-yard line.
It's a good play right there on 2nd and long. Your goal is an offense. If you're off schedule, get half of it back. Right there, they get exactly half of it back to make 3rd down just a little bit more manageable. Let's see if they look at Seth Williams here. He's been the go-to guy on 3rd down. See if they look in the direction of the talented wide receiver, number 18, lined up in the slot.
They're showing some safety pressure for a moment, and now you see them changing things up. There is Williams, 3rd down and 9. Schwartz to the top of your screen. Nix, plenty of time to pick an option, and he does go to Seth Williams for a 1st down.
This was really nice, really nice from the passing game. Bo Nix staying in the pocket. Man, it's a thing of beauty. Just patient, deliver the ball over the middle of the field. Bo Nix has left the pocket way too early throughout the course of the season. That time, though, staying in the pocket, staying in that passing posture and throwing a strike for the 3rd down conversion.
You see Gus Malzahn upset as Tyler Barron is all of a sudden down, and that slows down the momentum for the guy who literally wrote the book on the modern-day up-tempo game. Back in 2003, he wrote The Hurry Up, No Huddle, an offensive philosophy. We'll see if that philosophy pays off on this drive.
Hey, good morning.
See players, 12 of them to be exact. And from the sideline, wisely enough, see number 9 for Tennessee. It's a linebacker.
Is there a sniper?
Tyler Barron. Yeah, no, not a sniper.
No.
The old mystery cramp. So are they still watching me? He sold it all the way. He sold all the way to the sideline.
We know the way the game is played, and so does Gus Malzahn.
Nothing against this, nothing against the rules there. I mean, I don't like it, but it's within the rules.
Here comes pressure on Nix, able to escape it to the outside and get it complete to Schenker.
I really don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. I really don't. But this is one of the best drives I've seen from Bo Nix this year, because he stayed in the pocket on a few different occasions and thrown the ball decisively. And then when he has left the pocket, it's been for good reason. This is what Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator, has been drilling over the last few weeks, and it looks like it's paying off.
10th play of this drive as they keep it on the ground with Shivers. He's going to be close to that line to gain. You say that considering the momentum that we talked about with what he did against LSU. He went for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we have a face mask here.
Ooh, yeah. Like he grabbed the hold of it.
That was Aubrey Solomon, big 300-pounder. 3rd and 1, we're going to get the quarterback sneak. That will move the chains. It'll be a 1st down for Auburn. Hey, a reminder that Tuesday at 7, 4 Pacific on ESPN. Folks, it is the reveal of the college football playoff. Top 25 rankings. Reese and the guy's going to break it down for you to see who is in line, how things shape up. It'll be interesting to see how the playoff committee reacts to what we saw out of Cincinnati. Obviously, Alabama rolled today. Indiana gave a good effort against Ohio State. DJ Williams. That was a funny game with Ohio State because it looked like numerous times it was going to go sideways.
Yeah.
And then
it
all
did
of a sudden
go
there's Indiana with Michael Penix Jr. passing for 491 yards and 5 touchdowns, and they only lose by 7.
I mean, him in the last 25 minutes of that game was ridiculous. I mean, it looked like it was game over. It was 35-7, and you got to give Indiana a tremendous amount of credit for battling back and at least making it interesting as the game went final.
High above Jordan Hare, 2nd and 10. Nix. Tracked down and taken down. As Bennett able to get to him again.
Talk about Bo Nix and leaving the pocket, not leaving the pocket this time. Protection just breaks down. His right tackle, Rodarius Ham, just gets run right around, and a great job there by Bennett, dropping Bo Nix to set up a third and extremely long after Tennessee was really on their heels through most of that drive.
3rd and 20 as they go with the tunnel screen. Stove as he weaves his way back to the 10-yard line.
You got to be disappointed if you're Auburn. You were just perfect right down the field. Beautiful 1st and 2nd down execution, and then converting on 3rd down. Then to allow Kavon Bennett to just work right around the right edge and drop your quarterback to force you to settle for 3. That's a great response from Tennessee's defense, but man, you got to be bummed out if you're Auburn's offense.
Carlson made from 25 earlier. Here trying to break the tie from 27, and he does so. The big 6'5" junior kicker with that reliable leg. We got ourselves a 13-10 ball game. Auburn takes the lead. War Eagle, you hear it all around town.
You can go your own way, go your own way.
Presented by PlayStation 5 is brought to you by Fresh Pet, real pet food fresh from the fridge, and Samsung QLED TV, the official TV of ESPN College Football.
I think they've had a little bit of talent through the years down here at Auburn, from Bo to Tracy Rocker, and of course Cam Newton, Heisman winner, BCS champ, and little brother is a backup receiver. Is Kalen Newton, who started off his college football career as a quarterback at Howard before transferring here at Auburn. 13-10, Tigers on top after Carlson's 27-yard field goal. The dangerous Velus Jones won't have a chance here. Garantano is 15 of 21, 156 yards, has the rushing touchdown on the day.
He's played pretty well. I mean, there have been a couple moments in which he needs to be smart with the football. But all things considered, I thought he threw the ball accurately, thought he made pretty decent decisions. Got to continue to play at that level in the second half.
There's Grays. He goes straight ahead. You think about Garantano's career. I mean, what a roller coaster ride it's been, right? He was the highly touted recruit for then coach Butch Jones. Remember that hype video when he committed? He was there in Times Square, right? Came out of New Jersey high school football, and he's going to go to the SEC. And then he starts his career. Actually had a win down here at Auburn as a redshirt sophomore. But the ups and downs of a fifth-year senior who's already gotten his degree, and who knows, you know, COVID is making things available for more eligibility. Here's Gray of what the options will be for Garantano next year.
And I think it's a little unfair, too, because he has had to endure a lot of criticism. And I understand that. Look, as a quarterback, you are what your record says you are. You get too much credit for the wins and probably too much blame for the losses. He hasn't been surrounded by great personnel. I mean, they really haven't been great offensively around him at any point. He's struggled, sure, but man, it's been a grind really throughout the course of his career. Hoping to finish on a high note, though.
First down the run for Gray, and it's a good one as he is just short of midfield. Allison.
Talked to Garantano about the ups and downs during his time at Tennessee, and I just give him so much credit, guys, because he is so positive, and he just loves this university. And you know what else he said? He said, every time I walk in that locker room, when I'm with my teammates or these coaches, I know they have my back, inside the locker room, outside the locker room, and I just love this university. He said, when I do eventually leave here, I just hope people remember that I was a tough player that would give my all for Knoxville and for my teammates. And
Allison, he has done that, and Gray has given them a first down. Over 6,000 career passing yards, number 7 in Tennessee history.
Yeah, he plays hard, man. I mean, he plays 100 miles an hour all the time. I respect the heck out of him. I think he's tough as nails. And I just want him to be remembered for the effort that he's given. Have the results always been there? No, not necessarily, but man, the effort has, and I think he needs to be commended for what he's done for this university and what was a very difficult several-year stretch.
Here's Gray again, and Gray catches a seam. And now Tennessee is on the move after Auburn had that well-managed drive, and now relying on Eric Gray.
And a really nice job here. Look at him in the hole, because if you see Zacoby McClain, he's unblocked. I mean, Zacoby McClain's right there in between the tackle and the guard in the center, getting ready to make the play in the backfield. Gray puts that left foot in the ground, bursts to the right, and finds some open space. That's crafty running there from the sophomore.
20-yard run, and now he's replaced by Chandler. Garantano on first down, downfield he goes, and off the hands of Palmer.
The pass from number 2, Jared Garantano.
Simpson had coverage on Josh Palmer.
I like the idea there. Auburn's defense really selling out against the run, committing 9 guys there into the run box. So you get one-on-one on the outside and take a shot against Simpson, the redshirt freshman, and I'll take my senior against a freshman any day of the week. It's a pretty well thrown ball too. That's one you'd like to see your receiver finish on.
Chandler looking for something against the right side there. Poe with the tackle from Chandler, 7 yards there. Only 3rd and 3 for the Vols.
Big down here, but if I'm Tennessee, man, I'd run it right down Auburn's throat here on these first 7 plays. With the exception of one shot downfield to try to take advantage of one-on-one, man, I'm going to run the football. And I'm going to say, hey, offensive line, you guys are a veteran group. You got 2 downs to get it. I'm not kicking a field goal right here. Run the football, challenge those guys up front.
Chandler will muscle ahead for a first down. McClain tried to meet him in the hole. Chandler had the leg drive. Cheney, the veteran offensive coordinator, second stint with Tennessee. Made the rounds throughout the SEC, throughout college football. Time in Arkansas, a year in Pitt. Was with Georgia for 3 seasons. And now alongside Jeremy Pruitt and the Vols. That time met and sent back. Newkirk was able to fill that hole with Popo.
One thing we haven't really seen, with the exception of the first touchdown of the game, we haven't really seen any quarterback run. And Garantano really only has 1 designed run so far. He's been sacked, obviously, and has had a couple carries, but really only 1 designed run. So right here, knowing that Auburn's committed to trying to stop these talented running backs, I might try to get Garantano's legs involved and maybe see if I can surprise Auburn and catch their defense off guard.
10th play of a well-managed drive for Tennessee. 2nd and 7. Garantano looks right, has time to the end zone. It is picked off. That's Smoke Monday. And Smoke Monday is going to take a glory ride. Coast to coast. Monday, oh Monday. How quickly it can change. Just when you thought Tennessee was having it their way. Just when Garantano was thinking about something. He got smoked. 100-yard pick 6.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
20-10. Smoke Monday just left a vapor trail. 100-yard pick six. If you're watching the SEC on ESPN. College football primetime on ESPN presented by PlayStation 5. Second time Smoke has had a pick six in his Auburn career. Jones from a yard into his own end zone. Slip sliding, and Tennessee hopes to not go away here, trailing now at Auburn.
Let's go back to the interception. It's an RPO, and Garantano's thinking that Josh Palmer, his wide receiver, is going to go outside. Release outside, which creates a lot of room between him and Smoke Monday. Instead, he releases inside, so Smoke Monday barely had to go anywhere to make a play on this football. The receiver crushes Garantano here. The problem is Garantano can't make a bad play worse by trying to throw it into really tight coverage. If you see a receiver slip inside and you know you don't have room to execute the RPO, that ball's got to go 30 rows into the stands. Smoke Monday made him pay, but that was not all on Garantano.
Chandler, not much there. Allison.
Well, with the way Quindarius ran that pick back, I think you can see why Grandpa called him Smoke as a kid. He was running around the house. He's part of the all-name team for the Tigers. You got Big Cat Bryant. Marcavius is his real name, but his mom called him Cat. High school coach added Big Cat, and it stuck. Of course, Tank Bigsby is Cartavius. His mom gave him that Tank nickname, though, with the way he ran growing up. And I'm adding Flash to the list as well. Anthony Schwartz still goes by Anthony, but everybody on the team calls him Flash for good reason.
And did he ever flash in the first half when he went for 54 yards in the touchdown catch. 2nd and 9. Garantano. Deep ball this time is well overthrown as Jones is looking for a flag and one reins in at the 29-yard line. So Flash and Big Cat and now Smoke adding to Auburn's success tonight.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And that's Roger McCrary, who we saw locked up against Ole Miss's talented receiver Elijah Moore a few weeks ago and held him only 16 yards then.
And Bayless Jones trying to run a deep V route off of play action. And as you see, he tries to work his way back to the corner, gets a little tangled up there with McCrary. And a good call by the official.
Tennessee a little breathing room. Remember, they started at the 9-yard line. Ty Chandler well blocked, and he hit the hole with purpose out to the 37.
If I'm Tennessee, I'm not throwing it until I have to. I mean, until it's 3rd and long, I'm not throwing it. I'm taking the RPOs off because right now, so far, at least here in the early part of the 3rd quarter, Auburn hasn't really stopped Tennessee's run game. They've been able to run it right down their throat with a lot of efficiency.
Another first down run, but this will go for a loss. Flag comes in. There's Derek Hall straight ahead on Chandler. Total yards right now is 301 to 302.
Personal foul, face mask, number 29 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Now Tennessee started with their worst field position at the 9-yard line. And now with the penalty, they're already out past midfield. That college football playoff reveal comes your way Tuesday night. I'm curious to see how everybody reacts to Cincinnati and BYU. Garantano checking at the line. Will give it to Gray, and Eric Gray again as Tennessee continues to have success on the ground. 16 yards there for Gray.
And there's just a lot of movement and confusion amongst the front there for Auburn. They were switching guys on sides, and Tennessee found numbers on the right side and gashed him again on the ground.
Gray adding to his total. You start looking at that stat line now. Eric Gray's up to 135 yards. Last 8 games, he's averaging over 101. Just keeps getting more and more work. Comes from good lineage. Dad was his high school coach. Also, Dad was a running back at Tennessee State. His uncle was a running back at Ohio State. Out of Memphis, Tennessee, the sophomore back for the Vols.
I'm telling you, that's the recipe for Tennessee. Grind it out. Trust your backs. Challenge your offensive line. And get into a rhythm running the football. That's the way you can come back and win this thing in the fourth quarter.
End of 3. The big difference was the 100-yard pick 6 by Smoke Monday. Fourth quarter, prime time in the SEC when we come back to the loveliest village on the plains.
My name is Henry, working within Amazon Transportation Services. I immediately saw the challenge of climate change. We want to be sustainable, but when you have a truck covering over 300 miles, or you have flights going hundreds of miles, it's a bit more challenging. We are letting the data guide us to the best solution. It's inspiring to try to solve a problem that nobody else has solved. That's super exciting.
As we get ready for the fourth quarter, and you're watching the SEC on ESPN, college football primetime on ESPN presented by PlayStation 5. Don't look at the screen right now, Vols fans. You know the way these second halves of games have gone over the past month and a half. It's a bad stretch that they're trying to remedy right here. And Gray's going to help do that. 2nd and 1, it'll be a Tennessee first down. Smoke Monday had the 100-yard pick 6 interception return. The third 100-yard interception return for a touchdown by an Auburn player in the last 70 years. Gray again. And Greg, we talked about it. We know the talent that is on this Tennessee offensive line. Now, they weren't playing to it for much of the year, but they feel confident they can run the ball here in the second half.
And this was a group, too, that really didn't ever get the practice together in the preseason. They had guys that barely did anything because of COVID. They weren't able to get together. They weren't able to create cohesiveness. I mean, they had multiple guys that practiced only 4 times in all of fall camp. So maybe their best is yet to come along the offensive line.
And that's so critical for an O-line. Gray now, as he gets put down hard, he went into the air and McClain sent him back. Newkirk and McClain getting involved defensively.
Nice hurdle here and a big stick by McClain, meeting him in the hole, and a big decision here too from offensive coordinator Jim Chaney. This is a passing situation, obviously, in 3rd and medium, but given the way you're running the football and the fact that Garantano just made a mistake in this part of the field, I think I lean towards handing it off.
3rd down and 5. Gray's going to split out. Thought about swinging it to him, and then he is wrestled down by Wooden.
Look at our AT&T 5G Skycam trying to get Gray working this way, thinking it would draw a defender, and they just stayed at home. You actually saw number 20, Sherwood, run with Gray. They thought it would allow for one of those linebackers to escape, which would allow Garantano room to run up the middle, but not to be. Good play there by Auburn's defense.
So Maglia on for the field goal. And it leaks out to the right. A miss from 37 yards. It remains a 10-point margin with Auburn on top here at home.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, oh, don't just bounce back. bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
Ready to go. You got Coach Cal in Kentucky on Wednesday. You got Rick Barnes and number 12 Vols on Wednesday on the SEC Network. By the way, Saturday's SEC Network. We got to get back and see Dari and Chiz and the guys for SEC Final tonight. I bookend SEC Network to start my Saturdays, right?
Absolutely.
We watched Nation this morning. We saw Baby Reese make her pick. Baby Reese makes the pick every Saturday morning. And then Dari, Chizik, Doring, Roman on SEC Final at night.
You made fun of me on Nation this morning, though. You said I looked terrible. That's what you said.
I've done that many times, haven't I? Here's Shivers. Let's go to the studio. Oh, please. Well, you know, that's usually my espresso on Sunday morning of watching you guys back because you stay up so late with the ultimate locks and the bragging rights between Jesse and Joey and Matt. I love me some Final. There's Shivers going straight ahead. You know, there was big controversy earlier in the first half about Jesse thinking he got denied a Thanksgiving invitation this year on national TV. We're not home for Thanksgiving this year. We got Coach Hafley's given us a couple hours to see the guys up at BC for a bit, so we love having Jesse and them to Thanksgiving every year. Third down and 3.
I'm not responding because I've never gotten the invitation, so I have nothing
Keep
to say
looking in that mailbox, Matt.
My invitation used to be the Egg Bowl. I used to do that every year, so that was a fun Thanksgiving treat for me for a few years.
Here's third down and 3. Knicks 4-man rush against him, inside and able to connect to Jackson for a Tigers first down.
Very nice there by Bo Nix. I don't think he's thrown a ball in, gosh, it feels like 20 minutes, maybe 30. I don't know. I don't have actual time, but it's been quite a while. And right there, asked to throw a slant, a moving target on 3rd and medium. That was a nice, accurate throw right on his receiver's face mask.
First down run from Williams. You know, every so often you see Bo Nix look at his wrist, Allison.
Yeah, Tess, it's got written on his wrist ABC, and it's a message from his offensive coordinator, Chad Morris. Before every game, Morris gives his quarterback a note, and he ends it with a reminder to focus on his ABCs. It's just to really channel his focus to the basics, footwork, eye placement. This week, the B was for breath, but the C is to go out there and just play. And Bo Nix and the Tigers doing just that with the lead here in the fourth quarter. Back after this.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
And college football is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Allstate, you've never been in better hands.
A wild day in college football. Northwestern getting past Wisconsin. Cincinnati is 8-0. Could we have a group of 5 team knocking on that college football playoff door? Kyle Trask, he has himself in the Heisman conversation. 3 touchdown passes today against Vanderbilt. And right now you look across the scores, you see Mississippi State tied up with Georgia. Of course, Matt, Joey, and Jesse will have everything for you. Wrap up the day on College Football Final coming your way on ESPN. Bo Nix. Moments ago, we took the timeout because their starting right tackle, Brodarius Ham, was down at the end of the play, and now he heads to the medical tent.
I hope he's okay. He's obviously a big body there on the right side. And him and Keandre Jones, the right guard, they were starting to really develop a nice rapport. So in goes Brandon Coffey, who is an experienced player, but doesn't have the same amount of reps with Keandre Jones.
Third down and 6. Schwartz in motion. Stack to the bottom of your screen for Bo Nix on third down. And looking for the flag is Jackson, and he's going to like the result. Alante Taylor was locked up with him.
Exact same play they ran a second ago, and Alontae Taylor just grabbing a little too much jersey there as they tried to work the slant route away.
Pass interference on the defense, number 2. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Watch, like I said, trying to work that slant, one-on-one coverage. See that stick, but you see the left hand grabbing that left shoulder there for Jackson. They're going to call that every time. When you really manipulate the receiver's body with your contact, that's going to get called. So a good call by the official.
Nix pulls it, the option of throw downfield, a little bit of a force as the pass was defended by Bryce Thompson. Tomorrow's Sunday NFL Countdown one-on-one with Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. Steelers trying to stay undefeated. Of course, you got mossed every Sunday morning. Kick off your Week 11 with Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN. Garantano looking up at that scoreboard saying 9.5 minutes. Will we get a chance? Sidearm as he goes to midfield. And Williams said, I got myself a catch. He is such a talent.
Normal down distance, you'd think Auburn would go hurry up right here because they are probably going to take a look at this, I would assume. But given the fact that it's 3rd and medium and a really important down and distance in the game, opting to go just a touch slower. Let's take a peek. Does Williams secure it? Wow, strong hands. Unbelievable hands there from Williams. Great catch and concentration. Watch that slant at the top. They've run it a few times. This time they got Williams on the backside.
3rd and 5. And he'll have the first down to Schwartz. Anthony Flash Schwartz, who had the 54-yard streaking touchdown catch in the first half.
That was a good job there. And you see, here's that slant I was talking about. They've run it a few times, and the defender just kind of works right out underneath it to take it away. So Bo Nix comes to the other side. He finds Schwartz underneath on the option route for a nice conversion.
Gonna loft this downfield to the end zone, and going up and trying to make the play was Williams. Incomplete. As he's slow to get up off that knee at the end of that play.
Wow. We need to look at this because, my goodness, this was close. This was an unbelievable effort. Look at him contort his body. Does he get a foot down? Secures the catch. Oh, but the ball jars a little bit loose as he goes to the ground.
But the body control, G-Mac.
Oh, my goodness, what a play.
I mean, this kid and some of the things we see him do.
Under further review, the ruling on the field was an incomplete pass.
It's really going to come down. It's clear that he's in bounds, but does he secure the catch? Unbelievable effort, though.
Let's bring in our 3-time Super Bowl official, John Perry. John, what are you looking for here?
Definitely 1 foot in, and then he touches the pylon, which then puts him out of bounds. Where's the ball at that moment? Assuming that he maintains possession, this could potentially be a touchdown.
Obviously, there's the ball. It's secure. And there's the pylon. Does he have to secure it all the way through the ground? Because the ball does move when he hits the ground. So, John, it's really close. Would you say that's a catch, or does the ball becoming dislodged as he hits the ground? Is that what changes your... what might have been a catch?
The issue is the very end. This ball does move. I think there's enough video evidence to go incomplete based on the movement at the end. Everything up to that point is 6 points, but it's incomplete.
Just not enough video evidence to overturn, really.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver did not maintain possession throughout the catch. It is an incomplete pass.
I mean, there are incomplete passes, and then there are incomplete passes. That
is superb.
An unbelievable effort. And even though it goes down as a long fly ball, that's one where NFL scouts will say, oh my goodness, did you see that catch?
Come now.
By Seth Williams.
See Gus Malzahn arguing for his guy, but watch the ball at the very end here.
And this is really it. Right there does the ball. You see it move as he hits the ground. That's ultimately, and the nose of the football, it looks like it goes up into his stomach, so I think it's the correct call, but man, it's a missed opportunity there because they caught, you see that ball move clearly there. They caught Tennessee napping a little bit with a quick snap and could have stolen 6.
So instead, 2nd and 10, DJ Williams, as Auburn is looking to add to their lead now. Finally tracked down by Flowers, but Williams takes it to the 13-yard line. Again, as he makes his way inside the 10-yard line. 11-play drive to this point. Tuesday night, we're going to let you know what the CFP rankings look like. First time you'll see them. Could this be an SEC that gets 2 teams in? Here we have the ACC working their way to 2 teams. If Notre Dame and Clemson dance that dance they had again. Williams, right in. Gus is loving it. His 100th game as head coach, and the margin widens for the Tigers. That's the kind of drive that you put together in the 4th quarter of a game. 12 plays, 80 yards. Take a chunk of time and make a statement. And that's exactly what they just did. DJ Williams, 27-10, Auburn.
So you're a business that's thriving. But then, don't just bounce back. Bounce forward with serious and reliable gig speed internet. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure.
So how do I do this?
We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
They walked on as students. They walked off as heroes. An SEC storied film. No experience required. Tuesday at 9 on the SEC Network.
Looks like a good flick to see. Right now, it hasn't been so good for Tennessee. They were up 10-zip. 27-10 right now. Let's look at our Corona premiere moment, and it was the pick 6 by Smoke Monday. Garantano has 4 pick 6s since the start of last season. That is the most of any player in major college football.
And Tennessee, really throughout the course of the second half, has been ripping Auburn on the ground. So they just haven't been able to punch it in the end zone, but they get down there. They've been moving the balls consistently between the 20s, but when they get down to the red zone, they just make mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes. Gotta pick up the urgency here.
Harrison Bailey is in at quarterback now for Tennessee. And he's going to get a completion on his first pass of the game as he gets it to Hyatt. Now, Harrison Bailey is a true freshman. He's 6'5". There are a lot of Vols fans out there who want to see him out on the field. They want to see if he's the next great one. By all accounts, he's the future of the program. We talked to Jeremy Pruitt about him last night. He said, I want to see it in his face. I want to see that he wants it. Came in a couple weeks ago against Arkansas, was 6 of 9, went for 65 yards, played the last 3 drives. They're showing some pressure off the edge with Tutt against the true freshman. Let's see if they bring it. 4-man rush with time, and he gets it complete to Chandler. Now the backstory, Greg, and we talked about this with Bailey. He was a great high school player at Marietta High School in Georgia. one of 5 Georgia players to surpass 10,000 career passing yards in his high school career. The other names are pretty good. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Jake Fromm. Let's see what we got here with Harrison Bailey.
He throws a catchable ball. He actually reminds me of a slightly taller Jake Fromm. Catchable ball, makes good decisions, very accurate with the football.
2nd and 3. Bailey. That was overthrown, the intended receiver, Hyatt.
I think we all have to recognize, though, is that you're only as good as your supporting cast. So while Ball fans are clamoring to see Bailey, Jeremy Pruitt wants to protect this young man. He doesn't want to force him into a bad situation. He wants to make sure that the other 10 guys offensively are doing their part before he puts the freshman in there and potentially exposes him to some difficult looks and defenses.
Chandler on 3rd and 3 will be a first down. Glad you're with us here for our SEC action here. College football primetime. 27-10 Auburn. 27 unanswered points for Auburn. It was 10-0 early in the 2nd quarter. And Auburn came alive with the offense of Bo Nix and a 100-yard pick 6. First down throw by Bailey. And a flag is down there. Smoke Monday had the 100-yard pick 6 interception return. That was the breaking point, key moment of this game.
Holding, number 8 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
They'll march them back. 3 weeks ago, they played a game. It was their best game of the year against LSU. Then they had the bye week at Auburn, and then they were set to play Mississippi State. That was postponed due to COVID. So they got off to what Gus Malzahn described as a stale and rusty start. They shook off the rust for sure. Up 17. 1st and 20 for the true freshman quarterback as he hands off to Gray, and Gray with a good run here. Eric Gray is having a big night.
Number 3, Eric Gray on the carry.
They turn to him early on, and he adds 27 yards to his total now of 171.
It's amazing. I mean, just the running back draw. He had 33 on that play earlier, 27 there, 60 yards on the same play twice.
Bailey extending things, looking for an option, and then he'll scoot out. And it's always interesting to see the evolution of a program, how they manage things with the quarterback situation. We mentioned the fact that Garantano's had this roller coaster ride of a career, and now perhaps a chance for Harrison Bailey down the stretch of this season to get more and more experience, and for there to be something to look forward to in 2021. 2nd and 3. Pressure up the middle. Bailey, as he put it to the outside. Flag is down. The marker's down as Weidman steps out of bounds. Coverage came from Roger McCreary.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Here's Eric Gray, who is definitely their most dynamic offensive weapon at this point. He's got 20 carries for 171 yards. That's an unbelievable 8.5 yards a carry. He's been shaking, lowering his shoulder, finishing runs. In a disappointing day for Tennessee so far offensively, he has been a bright spot with his productivity in the rushing game.
Does have a 200-yard game in his career. Had that a year ago against Vandy, sitting there at 171. Harrison Bailey, a little bit of pressure on him, but he's able to get it complete to the 2-yard line to Jacob Warren. Big tight end, was a local kid from Knoxville.
You gotta like what you've seen from Harrison Bailey. I mean, Auburn's throwing the kitchen sink at him now with some of their pressure looks, all-out pressure, A-gap pressure, and he's getting the ball out fast.
6'5" true freshman. Gray straight ahead, trying to reach for that goal line. He'll be marked inside the 1.
looks like Juan Newkirk was a little slow to get up right there.
He's had a nice day, has Newkirk.
Yeah, he has. He's been very active and disruptive along the line of scrimmage. Hopefully he's okay. He walks off in a little bit of pain.
Swanky, part of the staff here at Tennessee. Of course, 2000 Heisman winner, led Florida State to their first undefeated national championship. And then classic against Michael Vick and Virginia Tech. 3rd and goal. And whistles will blow.
Timeout.
As a timeout
Auburn.
will be used by
They're
Auburn.
first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Monday Night Football this week has the Rams going against the Bucks. Of course, that comes your way 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. And coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown. You know what next week is for Auburn? Oh, you know all about that, don't you? It is the Iron Bowl. How do you think this team is taking form heading into that challenge?
Well, I think the big thing, and when you play against Alabama in the Iron Bowl and really over the course of Nick Saban's tenure, it's going to take a remarkable quarterback performance more often than not to win the game. And Bo Nix, I think, has shown signs of improvement over the course of this game. It had me feeling really optimistic about the deep passing game, which is going to be huge for them moving forward. And I think he's been more patient in the pocket. That's been big. So obviously they're going to have to play exceptionally well offensively, but
will they have Tank Bigsby for that matchup? Straight ahead goes Gray. As Tennessee trying to hold on to a little bit of hope here, chipping into that margin. As Garantano took a seat, Harrison Bailey, the true freshman, came in, and he leads them on a 9-play touchdown drive. ...173 yards rushing and a touchdown for Eric Gray. Also has 3 catches for 49 yards. It's a 10-point game here at Auburn. Good look out of the true freshman quarterback, and a big night for Eric Gray.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving. But then, okay, plan, pivot. How do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward with serious and reliable internet, powered by the largest gig speed network in America. But is it secure? Sure, it's secure. And even if the power goes down, your connection doesn't.
So how do I do this?
You don't do this. We do this together. Bounce forward with Comcast Business.
it's really been this Auburn Tigers rushing attack. Tank Bigsby goes down really on his 2nd carry. I'm telling you, man, Shivers, DJ Williams, they have stepped up in his absence and have really done a great job of working in tandem with that offensive line, getting to the 2nd level and making guys miss. All things considered, when you lose an explosive weapon like Tank Bigsby, some offenses would certainly stall. That hasn't been the case so far, though, for Auburn, as both those guys have been very balanced and have created a lot of opportunities on the ground.
Moments ago, Tennessee just had their first point scored since 13:42 of the 2nd quarter. 10-point game. There's the bunt onside kick, and it is fielded cleanly by John Samuel Schenker, the tight end for Auburn. So Samaglia tried to go with the bunt straight ahead, and Auburn recovers with 4:06 left in the game.
Always
Auburn,
wondered,
a team that's trailed by 10 early on.
Always wondered with that straight ahead onside kick. I mean, you better put a tough dude that ain't scared of anything right there on your hands team.
You would have been good there, Matt.
I would have been a mess.
You got that inside.
Put me
now.
back
you
as
got
the I have a better chance of being the deep return guy than I do the guy in the middle of the potential middle onside kick. That's a scary spot.
Going to go with Stove on the jet motion, and he is driven back. Remember, we mentioned to you, Auburn has a ranked team against an unranked team under Gus Malzahn, 22-2 record at home.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
It's been a fun day of college football, hasn't it been? Saw Northwestern do their thing, holding Wisconsin with 7 points. They beat them 17-7. Ohio State taking care of business against Indiana. Bedlam still going on. Of course, Matt, Jesse, and Joey will get you squared away with college football final deep into the night. And happenings in the SEC where Bama rolled, Georgia's in a fight with Mississippi State, and Auburn up 10 here at home as they await Bama next week. The Iron Bowl against number 1. Nix going to keep it himself. And Nix will take that inside move and dive ahead towards the 35. Lost a wheel. Be interesting to see how Jeremy Pruitt approaches the stretch run. They're at Vandy next week. I thought Vandy gave about as spirited of an effort as they could for most of the game against Florida. And then Tennessee will have to deal with those Gators in a couple weeks. 3rd and 1. And Williams will be close to that line of gain as we come up on 3 minutes to play.
Can't quite kneel on it yet. Tennessee still with a couple timeouts.
I thought you brought up a really good point about COVID has impacted teams in so many different ways, but for Tennessee, it really impacted them in summer and fall camp and early this season with just trying to find some cohesion. They were missing different parts of position groups, and it really impacted them on the offensive line, where they have a ton of talent.
Yeah, and where they would hope to have been able to keep some of the momentum from their stretch run and the way they finished last year. Not having spring really hurt them.
Here's Nix as he pulls it from Shivers and he slides down inside the 30. And then you consider all the young, talented players they had, a lot of top recruits who came in where they didn't get that developmental time. Allison.
Well, guys, we've talked a lot about the injury to Tank Bigsby today, but the other injury for Auburn that's definitely looming large is their right tackle, Brodarius Ham. He had difficulty walking into the locker room. They were going to look at that left knee, but that's huge for them, especially for next week, because that's the unit that really has gelled of late for Auburn. They had so many new starters up front. They've really come together, started to play as a unit. So that's definitely an injury to keep an eye on in addition to Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate, Allison. Is that offensive line, they have come light years from where they were early in the season. I mean, frankly, early in the year, it was like, who am I watching when I put on the Auburn tape? And then now fast forward here to the latter part of November, they're starting to really find their rhythm with what they want to be along the front. So it's going to be really important to see Brodarius Ham out there on the field at right tackle next week, knowing the challenge is going to be pretty significant, obviously, against an amazing offense in Alabama.
Give credit to offensive line coach Jack Bicknell Jr. and offensive coordinator Chad Morris. And as Gus Malzahn said, you know, that's the Auburn identity, really, is getting that kind of play, being able to have success with the ground game. Hey, we getting any shockers with this college football playoff ranking reveal on Tuesday night? Anything that you think is going to surprise everybody?
It's tough to say there's going to be any surprises. 1 through 4 seem pretty obvious to me. But you could, I guess, if you really wanted to kind of, I guess I'm going to be really interested to see where Miami is. That's one where I'm really interested. You could make a case, obviously, for Cincinnati and for BYU, given the fact that they're undefeated. But I just have a hard time, given the fact that the committee over the course of time has always valued wins, quality wins, strength of resume, Power 5 victories. The fact that those teams don't have any of those is really challenging to assume that they're going to be way up there. The other thing I'd say too, I don't think the Pac-12 is going to be ranked very high because it's nothing that I've seen from Oregon.
Where's the sample size?
Yeah, there's nothing I've seen from Oregon. There's nothing I've seen from SC to make me think either one of those two teams is going to be way up there in the rankings. So I think the other thing too is where's the highest ranked Big 12 team?
3rd and 5. Nix trying to bounce it to the outside. And he's taken down by Bennett. Let me just say this. I know I've been barking too much all week in your ear about this. I think playing football matters. And I think the teams that have played more games, I don't care whether you're talking the Heisman race, I don't care whether you're talking the CFP rankings, but it is tough to get through a football season. And staying healthy and being out there is a big part of competing this year. So I'd like to see credit given to the teams that have played a good amount of games. Miami's sitting there at 7-1. Give them credit. You take on risk, you take on injuries, you take on the chance for losing every time you step out on that field.
There's no denying any of that. And I think that's going to be the fascinating aspect is how much will the committee penalize the likes of the Big Ten and the Pac-12 for their delayed start? And like you said, what is a relatively small sample size to that of what we've seen in so many other leagues?
Week after week. Listen, it's challenging enough just playing football, getting through a season, and then having to stay healthy. Hey, what was your reaction early this morning when all of a sudden you saw the news breaking on what happened with Clemson and Florida State? There you go, all of a sudden the tractor trailer's rolling out of Tallahassee.
I mean, initial reaction's always for the players, just from a player's perspective. I just couldn't imagine showing up, having done an entire week's worth of prep, traveling to site, starting to rev my engine a little bit 3 hours before kick, only to find out that the game's not going to be played. That would just be gut-wrenching because you pour your heart and soul into the game. You do. And when you get to game day, that's the reward for your sacrifice over the course of the season. So I felt bad for the players. That was my first reaction. And so many teams have had to deal with challenges throughout the course of the season.
You see the gaps this year between games for certain teams based on the situation with COVID. Heck, this Auburn team had 21 days between games. 3 weeks ago today is when they beat down LSU.
A little surprised Auburn right here, this spot of the field. I know it's a long field goal. A little surprised they sent their offense out there. Wonder if they'll think about sending Anders Carlson out there instead and maybe securing what would require 2 touchdowns in order for Tennessee to take the lead as opposed to a touchdown of the field goal.
Tess, you were talking about this long layoff for Auburn, and we see teams throughout the country have to deal with it. Is that even though they are able to practice, not everyone is always able to practice. Like Auburn had some COVID issues during this 3-week layoff, so some of their key guys were not out there for practice. So it's like just because they're out there for the game doesn't mean there was normalcy in the preparation for competition. And that's the other thing that stands out to me this year is the impact not just on the games but on the preparation.
I agree with you, Allison. And now they are going to send out Anders Carlson for the 50-yarder, try to push this past 10, get this thing back up to a 13-point margin. He's got a huge leg. And he puts it right through with ease. Wow. See the elevation on that? He doesn't line drive even the long balls as Carlson nails the 50-yarder. Of course, the younger brother of the Auburn great Vegas Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson, the brothers, number 3 on the all-time scoring list of brother duos among college kickers.
When that ball left,
and the Browns ahead of them.
Yeah, when that ball left his foot, I was a little worried about that beautiful Jumbotron. I thought that thing might have a dent in there after he kicked that ball. That thing looked like it was going to be good for 75 yards.
That bad boy that occupies the entire south end zone. I think you and I were doing SEC Nation when they first put it in. We were making trips down here all the time. That's 190 feet wide. 190 feet wide, 57 feet tall.
It's huge. I mean, as a player, I don't really remember. I know they had a cool Jumbotron, but I don't remember exactly what it looked like because this thing is just so consuming. It's just amazing. And Obviously, this is such a great venue.
Well, it's a little different now during COVID, isn't it? Because this is one of the places with the grand pageantry of the sport, right? The Tiger Walk,
yeah. I mean,
Toomer's Corner, and obviously War Eagle, Nova, and Spirit, who will fly pregame, but we've got a COVID-restricted 17,490 in here now.
No, granted, I played at Alabama, but this was the hardest place to play for me. I always thought this was the toughest place. It's just so much energy coming from the fans in the stands, even more so than LSU, which always seems to be talked about as the most difficult road trip. This one here, just knowing the Iron Bowl was always on the line when we were in the stadium was pretty intense, that's for sure.
Remember, Harrison Bailey is who came in at quarterback last go-round for Tennessee. Led them down the field on a touchdown drive, the true freshman from Georgia. Told you about his unbelievable high school career, leading the Blue Devils in Marietta, Georgia to the first state title in over 50 years. Went for over 11,000 passing yards.
And this is a good opportunity to assess him in a 2-minute operation.
Bailey with time in the pocket, and it looked like that should have been complete to Caton as a flag is down back at the 17-yard line.
I know this game's obviously not completely out of reach, but the clock's getting close to midnight for the Tennessee Vols.
Holding on the offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Yeah, and I think this is a huge opportunity, though, to assess, all right, here's a true freshman in Harrison Bailey that had an abbreviated fall camp that has gotten hardly any reps, very few reps with real action live 2-minute. And this is a huge learning experience. So albeit maybe some people are wanting to change the channel, maybe some people are thinking, all right, well, game's over. No, this is enormous for a young player in his development and maturity.
Change the channel. You got Matt, Jesse, and Joey coming up next. Nobody's changing the channel. Bailey, as he goes to Chandler out of the backfield. You remember these days as a true freshman thinking, when will I get my chance? How will this look? Where's this whole thing heading? Wide eyes for Harrison Bailey.
That's all you want. It's an opportunity to compete and an opportunity to put your best foot forward. That's all you can ask for as a player.
They got some good young talent on this Vols team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They got Small and Hodge in the backfield, a couple good-looking true freshmen running backs. They got 4 true freshman wide receivers who should be something very special, and then this quarterback at 6'5". Oklahoma's been in control in Bedlam throughout the night. They're going to the fourth quarter, and it's a 2-touchdown lead there. Georgia has the lead on Mississippi State. And for Tennessee, a familiar look.
1 minute, 15 seconds. 1:15. The clock will start on the snap.
It's been a stretch of double-digit losses for Tennessee. Back on October 10th, they were number 14 in the country. They got blown out in that second half at Georgia. They lost 44-21. Lost to Kentucky, to Bama, at Arkansas back on November 7th. They were up 13-zip at the half, and they lost at Arkansas 24-13. Harrison Bailey quickly to the outside as he goes to Princeton Fant. They're missing their tight end, Austin Pope, who had a back issue and had surgery this summer, is out for the whole year, and that was a big blow to have him out for the season. That is Tutt, who was slow to get off the field, Christian Tutt. Hate to see in the final minute of a 13-point margin, a starter like that limping off the field. Bailey over the middle, and he gets it complete past midfield. And this is that maturation process, those golden opportunities that you were just speaking of. He goes to Fant again.
Yeah, just keep fighting. I mean, that's it. Game's not over. 54 seconds left. Not over. Just keep fighting. These are invaluable reps for a young player.
Bailey again, 45 seconds to play. Is there anything that catches your eye immediately with all your experience, Greg, when you see a young quarterback?
Yeah, the first thing I look at is pocket presence. Is he willing to stand in the pocket? Like, that's the biggest thing, because some of those things can't be taught. That's just sheer natural ability. That's instincts. Pocket presence, does he have that? Everyone at this level can throw it. That really isn't a huge indicator. Pocket presence and maturity, how tough is he as well? Does he get hit, bounce right back up, and live to play the next play?
Incomplete there. Remember, we've got USC and Utah coming up next. Our friend Rod Gilmore is going to be on the call. That Utah's first game, 2 cancellations. I mean, think about that. Here we are deep into November.
Think about that.
Their first game.
They've won 13 season openers in a row, though, Utah has.
Season openers.
Yes.
It's Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday.
No.
Season opener.
Still a season opener.
What are we doing?
And that's a tough place. Everyone keeps talking about the weather. California, SC, they're going to go play in 30 degrees. I don't know, man. I think SC's going to play well tonight. I really believe that.
Bailey. There's that pocket presence you talked about, and then he finally goes down. Big Cat Bryant with the sack. Team captain who was hampered by an ankle injury. Had an interception 3 weeks ago against LSU. Big Cat Bryant. He was a young kid playing football when he first got that nickname. 4th and 15. And getting it complete to Warren is Harrison Bailey. Harrison Bailey's going to take advantage of every second on that clock, Greg.
And the other thing, too, if you're Auburn and you're a defender, be smart. Don't take unnecessary cheap shots and get a targeting penalty and miss the first half of next week. Be smart. Stay away. Touch them down.
Bailey, final play of the game, as he will go down there. They were up 10-zip. Auburn roared back. Smoke Monday had the 100-yard pick-6 interception return. 30-17 is the final. For Allison and Greg, I'm Joe Tessitore saying enjoy the rest of your evening, including a great night of more football ahead. USC and Utah is coming up next.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.